Hey, everybody. Welcome to another installment of Venture Portland webinars. I'm your host, Jacob Falkenberg, and with me today are two very special guests from Travel Portland and Locl. Um, we're going to be having presentations from both of them. And I think to start us off is going to be Stephanie Alvarez from Travel Portland. Welcome, Stephanie.
Thank you so much, Jacob. Thank you, everybody, for having us. Let me go ahead and share my screen really quickly. Can y'all see that okay?
Yep, looks good to me.
Awesome. Okay, yeah, so let's dive in. So as Jacob said, my name is Stephanie Alvarez. I'm the Community Engagement Manager over here at Travel Portland. I'm here to talk to you all about our partnership program. And Tommy is also here to talk about Locl. I'll go ahead and give an introduction at the end of the presentation. One moment. So about Travel Portland. We're a 501c6 nonprofit, which means that we're member-based, and we exist to promote a common interest between our organization and our partners, and that common interest is tourism. Our mission is to generate travel demand, and this drives economic impact for Portland, which ultimately benefits all local businesses. We envision our organization as a promoter and steward of the city, and this is because we care. We want to be approachable and welcoming to all of our partners because we're all impacting the tourism economy equally. So to elaborate on that a little bit, our intention is to inspire more visits to increase overnight stays at hotels. Like I mentioned before, this drives visitor spending, and that supports local jobs and businesses. So what we do is inspire more visits by promoting Portland as a destination for leisure travelers and for those who travel to conventions. And we do this through marketing, sales, and PR efforts. We also guide the visitor experience by providing information to visitors through our website or through our visitor center. Our visitor center just opened up in late July. If y'all haven't been there yet, it's in between 11th and 12th on Harvey Milk Street. We have a really great team, and they're always happy to answer any questions. There's a lot of information on this slide, so feel free to take a picture. I'll also be sending this presentation over to Jacob, so you'll have access to it. So partnership. I have a cute video to show you all. Just it.
You make Portland what it is today, a collective of makers, doers, creators, and dreamers. We believe the magic of our city comes to life through you.
Sorry about that.
And as a nonprofit organization, we focus on inspiring people from around the world to visit and experience what you do best. At Travel Portland, we tell stories every day about what makes our city unique. We foster collaboration that benefits anyone who comes here and everyone who lives here. From the dedicated local business owners to the passionate artists who pour their hearts into their craft and the welcoming locals who make visitors feel at home. We're honored to partner with such a diverse community of visionaries. Tourism supports 32,000 local jobs and generates $5 billion in revenue back to Portland. That's why we built a partnership program that provides an interconnected network where we share resources, access, and tools for everyone to thrive. After all, we're only stronger together, and there's no catch or cost to join. We invite you to join us. Through collaboration, we can create a bigger impact on our city. Because when we support each other, we support Portland. Learn more about our partnership program and sign up to become a partner today at travelportland.com/partners.
So why do organizations want to partner with Travel Portland? As the city's destination marketing organization, we work on behalf of partners as demand drivers, city stewards, industry intelligence, and community connectors. I personally work with the community on behalf of Travel Portland, and my focus is with visitor-facing businesses like retailers or restaurants. The list is actually a lot longer than that. We encourage everyone to apply for partnership. If you serve any travelers in one way or another, then we serve you with resources. What does it cost to be a partner? Nothing. So our first tier of membership comes at no cost to you. You'll receive a premium local membership, which is possibly one of our best benefits, but we'll dive into that momentarily. You'll receive industry updates, access to our partner portal, research updates regarding the tourism industry, and another amazing benefit, access to our networking events and educational opportunities. We also have our investor level that is $300 a year. So you'll receive everything that I just mentioned, as well as access to our business-to-business directory and access to our calendar of upcoming conventions. I'm not sure if there are any hotel owners here. I won't dive too deep into this, but we also offer membership for hotels. The benefits include everything that I just mentioned, as well as convention and group sales leads. And the cost is dictated by location and the number of rooms. And whether you're a partner or not, we have visitor guides and maps that we're always happy to share with whoever needs it. You're more than welcome to drop by the visitor center to pick some up. Travel Portland has also developed a new app. It's called the Near Me Now. We previously only had this on our website, but now visitors and locals will be able to download it to see what's around them. Just a disclaimer that the businesses on this app are curated by our marketing department, and we only have select businesses on there that meet a long list of criteria. Visitors typically use Google when they're trying to find a location to go to, so it's really important that you keep your Google business profile up to date, and you can actually do that with Locl. And again, we'll dive into that later. I'm going to show you some photos of events. This is Jeff Miller, our CEO, who's speaking at a networking event that we had at Lansu. This was, I think, one of our first networking events that we had after the pandemic. This is last year's Partner Summit. Our Partner Summit is a half-day conference that's focused on providing educational workshops for all of our partners. Last year, we had two tracks. One was focused on equity, diversity, and inclusion, and the other one was focused on business development. We typically send out surveys to all of our partners asking what they would like to learn about. Then we curate our workshops based on their responses. The Partner Summit does have a cost associated with it, but if for any reason businesses can't pay that, we do offer scholarships as well. This is a networking event we had last year at Cooper's Hall in Southeast. And I mentioned this earlier, but more people than ever are searching for local businesses on Google Maps, but it can be difficult to keep up with your Maps listing, especially while you have a business to run. Tommy Chipman is the VP of Revenue and Partnership at Locl, and he's here to present to you more about what it is. He's going to talk about how you can use Locl to keep your Google business profile up to date, why it's important, and again, how to use it. But before he begins, I want to mention that Travel Portland covers the cost of a premium membership with Locl if you sign up as an insider. Again, that's our free membership. And I also have a quick video with some testimonials.
Locl exists out of a problem, this problem that small businesses face. What we're trying to do is build something that just makes it easy for people to succeed online.
When we started our relationship with Locl, we weren't even listed as a hotel. We were listed as a travel school, and they actually helped us identify that, and that almost immediately redirected traffic to us.
Every time that I've reached out, someone is willing to talk to me right away about it and answer any questions. It's been a much easier experience than having to work with like even Google themselves. I don't know who to call.
It takes me about 5 to 10 minutes a week to maintain our Google Maps presence. The reality is I spend a lot more time than that on social media, but our Google Maps presence is probably driving more traffic here.
For us, we have multiple locations, so to keep track of all of that through Google can be a challenge. So the dashboard is really great. To be able to see all of our businesses in one space is really great. So we actually had 35 or so places that were misrepresented on the maps. We got those fixed, and then we liked it so much on the work that we did with Travel Portland that we went on and did it for all of our locations.
I often use the same content that maybe I'm posting on a social media channel like Instagram. And as soon as I post that, it appears there in my dashboard in Locl, so I can take the same content and spread it across Google. So it saves me a lot of time.
So in terms of individual businesses' digital marketing, I don't think there's any more important thing they can pay attention to than how they show up in Google. There's 3 reasons for that. The first reason is just the sheer volume of searches which take place in Portland every day. The second is relevance. People use search when they're in the market to buy something. If I type the best PI pie in Portland into Google, it's because I want to buy a kilo pie. So if you sell pies, you want to show up in that search response. And the third reason is because it's a relatively easy thing for you to do, and even easier using Locl.
Because we are partners with Travel Portland, we get it for free. There, in any type of partnership with Travel Portland, you get the Locl program as a little perk.
Thank you all so much. I'll go ahead and pass it off to Tommy so he can go ahead and talk more about Locl.
Thanks, Stephanie. That video is great. I haven't actually seen that. Let me share my screen. How's everyone doing today? I'm calling you from Bend, and it is not smoky today, which is great. Okay, just make sure that everyone can see me here. Jacob, can I get a thumbs up if you can see my screen? Cool, great. So I just want to introduce myself. I'm Tommy Chipman. I'm the VP of Partnerships here at Locl. I'm relatively new to Locl, which is great. We're growing. We're continuing to add businesses and partners like Travel Portland to our portfolio. I personally have I have 10 years of experience working with small businesses and up to Fortune 1000 businesses. I spent the last 8 to 10 years, 8-ish years at Visa in the emerging markets and small business group. So I helped small businesses and platforms that service small businesses, help them accept payments. And then I'm coming to you from Bend, as I mentioned, and I love coming to Portland because the food is way better than Bend. Just as a quick outline to what Locl is, if you're not familiar. So we've been around for about 4 years. We were founded in Portland. We have thousands of users in 8 different countries. We have 25,000 plus. I think we're going on about 30,000 locations on our platform. And our customers are hundreds of small businesses, multi-location brands, marketing agencies, and then we have these strategic partnerships, including Travel Portland and other direct marketing agencies and CVBs across the country. And then also large payment service providers and partners that we work with to provide this service. What is this service and what is the problem and why did we do it? So for many of you, I'm sure that you have this issue where marketing that connects your customers to your physical business is difficult. It's overwhelming and it gets expensive. and dealing with Google is relatively hard. With our relationship with Google, they've actually said this to us before, is that, hey, we're Google, we're a data company, we're not a user experience company. We don't actually like to build user experience. We don't like to interact with individuals. We like to, essentially aggregate all the data and make it easy for people to find stuff. So what we did with Locl was we tried to figure out a way to be a really nice user experience or layer on top of Google and all of these other maps products to make it easy for businesses to be found. So we know that as a small business owner, you don't have a lot of time, number one. And number two, it's really important for you to get as many customers as you can in the door. And in today's internet-driven marketing world, it's really important for you to have a Google Maps presence that is correct. And for those of you who don't know, a lot of times Google Maps is actually pushed across to different directories. So if you use Apple Maps, or maybe you have a Tesla, or you are in an Uber, those maps are different directories. And a lot of them get their information for Google. So if your information isn't correct on Google, it won't be correct across all these different directories. And why is Google important? 93% of all online searches happen on Google, and 78% of those result in an offline purchase, which is a crazy number, right? So we're talking about 80% of the time when you search for something on Google, you buy it. And half of those searches are local in nature, and all of us here know that. When we, go somewhere, or even when we live in a place like, I've been to Portland many times, and I still don't know everything, right? I still turn a corner and I'm like, oh, what's over here? I might open up my phone and say, oh, where's good pizza, or where's a great cocktail? And all those places will pop up on my map. So people searching on maps are in consumer mode. And we know that it's actually above 80% of the time when someone clicks get directions, they actually make a purchase in that store. So it's incredibly important that your Google Maps presence, your photos, your information, whether you have patio seating, you're dog friendly, you're LGBT friendly, all these things are incredibly important for you to have visible. This is essentially your digital sign that sits, your digital version of your front door sign. So as I mentioned, this sort of sales cycle, search, decision, directions, contact, and visit, happens millions and millions of times a day, and we're all super familiar with why it's important, and we all, I'm sure, do it daily. So if you haven't gone into Google Business Profile Manager before, good for you, because it's terrible. But for those of you who do know how to go in there, we know that it's really hard to manage. It's not very well built. It's really complicated. It takes a lot of time to find your information and make changes. And there's not a lot of customization or automation. So you can't actually set things up and keep yourself found. So what we did at Locl was we decided to help people win potential customers and build a platform that makes it super easy for you to do this. And I'm going to skip one more slide. I got lost, because what happens when you don't is, conversely, if you don't go into Google Business Manager, you essentially get a weak listing and you lose potential customers. And we've all done that, where, we go to Biology Pizzeria and there's a bunch of pictures of a dumpster. Or, for example, someone can make changes to your Google profile and say, like, oh, it's not open right now. And maybe you are open and someone just couldn't find you, so they made a change to your profile, which they can do on Google. And Locl allows you to lock these out. So what does Locl do? We help you manage your categories, manage and respond to reviews, change, update, and recommend your description. We help you manage posts and connect your social media to your Google Maps profile. And then we actually allow you to set up posts scheduled. So there are some folks who have posts set all the way out to next year. So they're posting things for, let's say, Labor Day or Memorial or Christmas, when they are open or aren't open, and they have photos. And these all go out on Google Maps, which is really great. And the more that you do this, the volume and frequency will essentially bring you up in Google searches more. So the more that you interact with Google Maps, the more you come up in these algorithmic searches. And Locl helps you do that really simply. So a really nice way to think of this is essentially we're like a user experience for Google. So we're like Microsoft Windows or Apple OS for Google. We make it really easy for you to navigate and find things in your Google business profile. What does it look like and what does it do? So these are some pictures, and I'll jump into a really quick demo shortly, but we're having an incredibly clean user experience. What's nice is that we actually aggregate 18 months of data. So Google only allows you to see about 3 months, and we'll aggregate all the 18 months of data and all these really interesting data points like number of site visits, what categories people are visiting you for, where these searches are coming from. Are they coming from your website? Are they coming from Travel Portland's website? Are they coming from some other blog? Where are they coming from? And so all this information is important for you to understand where this is coming from. All these analytics are all easy to read and see. Multi-location content. So if you have multiple locations, you can manage them all from one single account. You can do personalized to-do lists with optimization and recommendations. So we actually will tell you, hey, your hours haven't been adjusted, or hey, you haven't posted a picture, or you only have 2 categories listed when you're allowed to have, let's say, 8. So we'll make all these recommendations for you. You can connect your social media accounts here, so you can actually set up for things like Instagram. When you make a post on Instagram, for it to automatically post to your Google Maps account. We also allow for permissions. So there's an unlimited free amount of users. If you have a marketing team or you have an outside third-party provider like a marketing group or consultancy who manages all this for you, they can actually use Locl on behalf of you. You can see and automatically respond to customer reviews. So we do have a way for you to set up automatic reviews for 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 stars. We are excited about releasing some AI and automated tools to actually smartly reply to these reviews, which is exciting. And then you can suppress and log on unauthorized profile changes. So I did mention this, that right now, if you have a Google Maps profile, let's say you own a bar and I go to that bar at 4 and it's not open, or I don't like it, or the cocktails are bad, or there's no something, who knows? I can go on to Google Maps and I can suggest a change, and they will actually make that change immediately. And Locl is the only tool that actually locks that. So we check Google I think about every 10 minutes for a change. And then if there is a change, we revert it back to what you've posted, and we notify you that a change was made. So essentially, no one can now change your Google Maps profile unless they have access to Locl. And then lastly, here we provide a real person. So we're real people here. We're not all AI computer people. We live in Oregon, and we started in Portland, and there are a group of us who help and manage to maintain our relationships with our partners like Travel Portland, and then all the individual thousands of businesses that we work with. So you can always send us an email or chat with us on the website, and we can help you and answer your questions. One thing I want to mention that's coming soon that we're really excited about, if you're not really sure if you have a Google business profile or what it looks like, we're going to be rolling out this business visibility score. So if you go to Travel Oregon or Travel Portland's website, there'll be a link shortly. We're hoping in the next couple of weeks. And you'll be able to just type in your business name. You won't have to like log in or provide Google information, just type in your business name. And we'll actually give you a score. We'll tell you, hey, you're doing really well, or you're doing bad. You have a low visibility score, your consistency is low, you're not on all these different directories, you're not posting, your reviews are relatively low. And then we'll give you a list of things that you can do on Locl to update that. And if you do and are a member of Travel Portland, you can easily sign up for free, and you'll go ahead and create an account, and then you can do all these things to boost your score. We'll also be rolling out some AI automated generated description updates and AI generated automated responses. So, and when I say AI generated, I don't mean the big boogeyman that's AI that everybody's talking about. What we've essentially done is we're just using some of the libraries that generate text, and then we're feeding in all of our information that we've seen from Google and all the customers that we have, so we can automatically respond to reviews and automatically update descriptions to make them really great for Google's algorithm. Okay, so if you haven't claimed your business, if you don't know that if you have a Google Maps profile, here's a quick sort of tutorial. Just open your computer, go to Google Maps, and then there's a claim this business at the bottom. And Google now has a much more strict business claiming system. They may actually send you a QR code. They may ask for a copy of your driver's license. There's a lot of things that they do. They're really trying to tamp down on folks claiming businesses, like fraudulently claiming businesses and then sort of holding people hostage to sell them back to them, which is great. But it has made Google Google much harder to use for third parties. And we're luckily an authorized partner of Google. So all of our tools all still work, which is great. So don't forget to claim your business if you haven't. You won't be able to use Locl if you haven't claimed your Google business profile. And then I just wanted to mention again today, we love working with Travel Portland. We have been for a long time. They've been an early adopter of Locl and given us lots of feedback, which is why our product has continued to get better. You can get it today for free if you are a Travel Portland member. And it's super simple to sign up. And I'm going to jump into a really quick demo. Jacob or Stephanie, unless you want to like take some questions first, or we can do a short demo. It's up to you.
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and do the demo, and then yeah, we'll make time for questions afterwards.
Great. Okay, can everyone see this Locl page? Good morning, Corey. Everyone can see that? Great. So this is an actual business on Locl. They've been with us for a long time and they do a really great job and we love them and they let us use their business Locl profile as a demo. So as you can see here, this is the overview. And if you haven't signed up yet, it's very simple. You essentially will click this link that will provide. You enter your information, name, company name, you create a user password, and then you'll connect your Google account. And it's as simple as like signing in with Gmail. You just essentially type in your password and we'll connect and we'll update all your information. And then you'll be dropped into this view. And these are tasks that we recommend that you do. We let you know about how much time you're saving by scheduling tasks. We show you tasks that you've completed this month, last month, and all time. And then these are some of the analytics that you can see here, and you can easily search by date range. So what we'll do here is just show the first 90 days on Locl. So this is super exciting here. So this business was able to increase their website clicks by 64% in the first 90 days of using Locl. They were able to increase their call clicks. So this is on Google Maps. When you see the button that says contact us, they were able to increase that contact us by 93% in the first 90 days. And then direction requests, and as I mentioned, this is a really important analytic. This essentially means that people are wanting to get to you and make a purchase. That this increased 155% in the first 90 days of using Locl. And then this last thing here, the calculated revenue, is my favorite. So what we do is we essentially have a formula based on these metrics. And if you give us your average order value, like what people on average spend, let's say you own a restaurant, it's $35, we will actually tell you how much money you are bringing in addition to what you were before by using Locl. So in the first 90 days, this business made $49,000 more by using Locl, which is an incredibly exciting number. And we actually provide this number to Travel Portland and to Travel Oregon, and they can actually see how much more money Locl is helping to bring into Oregon and Portland as a whole, which is really exciting. I'm going to skip here. So these map scans and grade locations are those new tools that I mentioned. As I mentioned, Corey is a favorite of ours, and we're letting her try some of these out. So I'm going to skip to photos and videos here. So photos and videos, this is actually posting. So the team has actually uploaded almost a little over 1,000 collections, and they post these. They're automated. So they actually go ahead and post and they show up on Google Maps, which is really exciting. So if it's a big travel weekend and you want to make sure that you're doing this, these are all super easy. You can add a collection by clicking a button. And then posts, you can actually add posts here. what's new, events and offers. You can do this by business. So they have multiple businesses here. You can select them, and then it shows which posts are pending and where they are, and whether or not they've posted, and the source. So for example, if you're posting from Instagram or Facebook, super easy to do that there. And then we'll jump into reputation. So this is, I know it's super important to me. My family has owned a small business, and stars, like, you always watch it, you see what's happening. So we made it super easy. This is actually Google and Facebook. So you can respond to reviews. You can set up automated feedback. So create quick replies. So if you see, like, for 5 stars, you can say, thank you so much, here's a coupon. Or for 1 star, like, we'd love to hear more, we're sorry that you didn't like it, here's an email address. These are all quick replies, so you can respond to that quickly. You can sort by stars. So we only want to see our 5 stars. And it's really easy for you to reply in here. And then we sort of give you a review growth, how many reviews you're getting, and how many have you gotten to date, and then what your overall stars ratings are here. This is really nice to manage. I think this is one of our favorite tools. Manage locations. Again, if you have multiple locations that you manage. And remember, in the beginning here, I mentioned that there are all these different directories. So actually in this managed locations piece, you can actually turn on our premium directories. So Locl has connectivity to all these different maps directories. So Uber, OnStar, Waze, Maps, Apple Maps, like Volvo, Mitsubishi, Hyundai, they all have their own individual sort of white labeled maps directories. And if you click this button and enroll in Reach, we will actually push all of your information that's in Google to all these different maps products, which is really incredible and super important depending on what type of business you're in. If people are searching for you when they're driving, especially with tourism businesses, right? If they're in a Hertz rental car, and they're in an Uber, these directories will come up on those apps. And then lastly, there's this account management information. I'm not going to click that because there's some personal information in here. But that is a very quick overview. And as I mentioned, it's super simple to sign up, enter your information, sign up with your Google account, and that's it. There's no other like integration or any sort of technical coding or anything like that. Let's stop here. Great.
Thanks so much, Tommy and Stephanie, for those introductions to what you're working on right now. It's definitely super important, more important than ever, to have a robust Google business listing. I know I use it on a daily basis to find businesses I want to visit, especially when I'm traveling and you don't really know anything about the businesses around you. It's a great way to kind of get a feel for places to go. Tommy, my question is around reviews. So a bad review can really have a huge impact on how many people are visiting a business and the reputation of a business. So I guess it's a 2-part question. What's the best way to respond to a bad review? And then how do you incentivize people to give good reviews? I don't think I've ever reviewed a business on Google, so I'm not sure how people are getting to that point.
Yeah, that's a great question. And I have a couple of points, and one of them is don't be afraid to respond to 1-star reviews. Google does have a pretty good mechanism to sort of get rid of people who are using inappropriate language or doing things like that. So if someone did actually have a bad experience, providing a place for them to either email you or wanting to understand why. A lot of times people do change their reviews, which is great. And making sure that you respond to people who are saying, 5 stars, like, especially for small businesses, we know how important it is to have relationships with our customers. And this is a place to do it. One tool that is in our queue. We are a smaller team, and we're working on lots of things. But one of them is to actually request or recommend that someone makes a review. So we don't do that today, but we're hoping to do that where you can actually push either a text or a notification or an email to people to ask them to leave a review. And I think that leaving information or QR codes are places for people to leave reviews. Like, don't hesitate to ask. If you put that at your register, like, hey, leave us reviews. It helps, people find us, and helps us show up in Google. Jacob, similarly to you, I think that there are people who leave reviews and people who don't. I personally think it's a slippery slope. I get really scared if I leave one review, I'm going to want to leave reviews for everybody. And I have a full-time job already. So I don't do that. But a lot of people do, and I'm glad they do, because a lot of times there's great information on there. And this just makes it super easy for you to see all of them in one place.
Yeah, it's definitely awesome. A way it looks like to manage all that data that's coming in, and make the most out of Google's. Essentially, it's a service, but it's also something that if you're not doing it right, is going to have a negative impact on your business. So making sure that you're
Correct.
doing things in a way that are actually increasing your business. It looks like we have a question here from Todd. Is there anything we have to do to get the free local membership through our participation in Travel Portland? So by signing up to be a partner to Travel Portland, are you automatically enrolled? How does the process look like?
Yeah, so as soon as you sign up to become a Travel Portland partner, you'll receive an email with details about Locl and a link that'll take you to our Travel Portland Locl page. And through that page, you'll be able to sign up for a premium membership for free.
Awesome. So the two of you work really closely together, even though you're separate organizations. It seems like you're pretty integrated into each other's processes.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, to expound on that a little bit more, is we're actually have a relationship with the state as well. And we are connected to the state's directory. So the state has a directory of all the businesses in it. And Locl actually works to put businesses who are not in the state directory that are on Google into the state directory. So we're incredibly integrated not only with Travel Portland, but Travel Oregon as well. And so there's lots of benefits to having and using Locl, and we love our partnership with Travel Portland.
That's awesome. I had another question about photos. So I saw in the example business that you were kind of demoing, they had 1,000 photos that were uploaded. Were those uploaded specifically by the business, or does Google find photos that are uploaded by customers and automatically put that into the profile? How's that all work, and what types of photos should businesses be thinking about putting up on their business profile?
Yeah, totally. So those are actually collections of photos that the user has uploaded, and you can do that like directly upload a collection, or you can do that through Instagram and Facebook and just share photos through both profiles. And then as far as guidelines to photos, there's a really interesting statistic that says people are 20% more likely to click on a Google Maps a listing if it has photos, which is pretty crazy. I mean, that's a really wild statistic. And then having control over your photos. So you can post photos, and if you don't have photos, then Google defaults to what other people post. Like, that's when you get the picture of dumpsters. So you want to be able to post some photos. You have control over that. You can post obviously pictures of your food or your product or the people or your staff on Google, and then you can set those to natively post in Google Maps, or you can have them post from your social media into Google.
Okay, so you're thinking that the more the better, as long as you're the one who's controlling which photos are going up there.
Totally. And I mean, as far as making recommendations on what to post, I mean, your business most. What are the things that are popular? What are the things that get people excited? If you're a tourism or a travel company or a travel guide, you don't have necessarily a business. Like, people aren't coming to your store. So posting like images of experiences and making sure that you get permission from folks, if there are customers in it, to be in these photos is important. but you're the business owner, right? So you know what people like most about your business, and that's what we recommend posting.
Yeah, I know whenever I'm looking for, a restaurant, especially if it's like a date night or something, I'm always curious about what's the inside look like because you can never tell that from just looking at the menu, right? So I think having, well shot interior photos, just to kind of help set expectations for people that are looking for a specific type of experience. Um, I think that's huge too.
Yeah, speaking of that, and we keep mentioning this to Google, but we would love if Google told you how loud restaurants were. 'Cause I don't know about you guys, but when we go to a restaurant, I want to know how loud it is. Like, am I going to be able to have a conversation? Or like, oh, I can't take my grandmother here because she can't hear very well, and we won't be able to have a conversation. So hopefully in the near future, you'll be able to know how loud restaurants are.
That's a great suggestion. I know Google's constantly collecting data on our whereabouts, which is kind of creepy, but it also, I think there's some benefits to it. You can actually see in real time how busy a place is, which is super cool. And yeah, eventually, I think it'll be able to track decibel levels too. So I think it's getting to that point where it's just there's so much data being collected. Um, yeah, how can you use that to your advantage? And if anybody else has questions, feel free to chime in. You can use the hand raise feature or drop something in the chat. I'm gonna keep going.
I see another one here. Data without login provide competitive data to businesses other than your own. Mira, I assume that you're asking about the new scoring capability. So that's a great question. So all this data is technically available publicly. So your business profile is available to anybody online. So what Locl will do when we launch this product that others who do similar scoring products is we will actually, before any changes are made or before we push this updated information to the rest of the directories, is we'll actually ask for proof that you have that you either own this Google directory or you own this business by you logging into your Google profile, or we'll ask that you have been authenticated as a provider that is allowed to make changes. A lot of marketing companies and marketing tech products don't do that. We're a big sort of firm believer in you own your own data and you own your business. Like, why is this super public? As far as like competitive data to businesses, we don't. So Google, these like the direction requests and all that information is available through Google's APIs to anyone that has that access. We don't share that information with anyone other than, in this case, Travel Portland and Travel and Oregon as a whole, because they're paying for the service. But I know that Stephanie could probably comment on what Travel Portland's privacy policies are. But we're not sharing any of this, competitive information as far as like visits and direction requests and contacts with anyone else.
Okay, great. And is your deal with music or with Travel Portland exclusive in the area in terms of sort of organizational strategic partnerships, or
Yeah.
it is exclusive?
Well, it's not necessarily exclusive. Like, we could technically work with other providers, but we actually do work with other CVBs and DMOs, direct marketing organizations, similar to Portland. Like, we work with Montana. We work with Minnesota. There's a couple of other states. I think that Phoenix is on their way, which is great. So we do work with other state DMO agencies, and then we also work with other technology partners and providers. So, for example, like if you have Toast or you have other services, you may see Locl as a service provider.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, thanks, Tommy, and thanks, Mira. My next question is for Stephanie. Stephanie, I wonder if you could just talk a little bit more about some of the resources that Travel Portland provides. I know I'm a huge fan of the events calendar. So what are some ways that businesses can kind of plug into the things that you're all doing?
Yeah, totally. So some resources that we offer, we have an asset library where you can, if you're a partner, you can get photos that you can use and share. We share the rights to those photos with all of our partners. So if you have any, any marketing that you need to do, you're more than welcome to those images. We do have our event calendar, like Jacob mentioned, as well. And our criteria is fairly easy for that. As long as your event is open to the public and may attract visitors, we'll put it on our event calendar. So yeah, it is a really, really great benefit. One thing that I do want to reiterate is we have educational workshops, and those are based on what our partners are asking for. So if you need help with, social media, or if you need help with, learning the basics of PR, we'll have workshops like that. And it's all based on responses from our partner surveys. And that's probably one of the best benefits that, other than Locl, that you can get from partnership.
That's awesome. Yeah, I know I've been to a couple of trainings at the Travel Portland office, and we had actually Carmen come and do a training around social media for us last year. So yeah, you've got a great, talented staff there, and I think businesses should definitely take advantage if they can. And you recently just reopened the visitor center, is that right?
Yeah, we did. Real quick, I'll send a link about partnership and also additional resources that we offer if you guys wanted to take a look. Yes, we opened our visitor center at the end of July. We had a grand opening party, and we invited all members of the community to join in. They actually also have a lot of collateral that they can give to businesses that just have, they have maps, or they have more information about Near Me Now, just resources that businesses can use to distribute to their clients if they're, wondering what to do in Portland. But yeah, that is again on Harvey Milk Street. It's in between 11th and 12th, and we've got a great team there. So if you all have any questions and want to connect with them, you're more than welcome to drop by.
That's awesome. So glad that is up and going again. I know it kind of closed for a little bit during the pandemic, but it's great for steering folks who aren't familiar with the city to different businesses that they might be interested in supporting. Does anybody else have questions for either Tommy or Stephanie? I know I've covered a lot of information, and I'm going to be following up with some links to the stuff that we discussed. But anything about your Google business profile or Travel Portland's programs? All right. Well, I want to be respectful of everybody's time. So I want to thank you all for being here today, and I want to thank our guests, Tommy and Stephanie, for talking about the work that they're doing. And I hope you all can take advantage of that. Certainly, I'll share their contact information if you'd like to reach out directly to them for more information. Tommy and Stephanie, any final words before we go?
Not for us. Thanks for having us.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for having us. If you have any questions, I dropped my email. Feel free to email me. Yeah. Thank you.
Cool. Thank you. Have a great rest of your day, and yeah, we'll talk soon. Take care.